People are demanding an update from Suga and what he's been up to. We have him donating billions and what went on with that. And then we have JK and Jimin verifying something in a recent interview. So hey, this is Dave Disci. Let's get into it. So the promotion for Are You Sure has taken a step up, and I'm very happy to say that I'm excited because any excuse to see the boys more is a great one. And I've said this many times before within my personal circle, which is that all you really need is a decent product, whether that is a book, whether that's a show, or whatever it is. Then you go on a press tour, and that's when you really get famous and get your name out there during that press tour. So now they're getting their name back out there again, and this show is the vehicle to do that, which I think is smart. Jimin and JK appeared in Vogue Japan. This was an insanely cute episode. They talked about what was in their bag, and JK showed a little bit of what was in that bag, or his bag. JK pulled out his wallet, which happened to be a strange one, at least in Jimin's opinion, and Jimin mentioned that the bag looks like a bag of candy or chips or something like that. And Jimin said that it might have been done on purpose so that if he drops it, no one would pick it up, which of course is absolutely hilarious. Of course, someone like him definitely should not have cash on him, or maybe a little bit of cash. I don't know what the rule is, because some people say that if you get robbed, it's good to have a little bit of cash on you to give them, but I don't think most people nowadays carry cash at all. It's just all credit cards. So it's good that he might have that, and then perhaps someone else could carry things like his ID or whatever, and then he doesn't have to worry about when he loses his wallet. JK also showed that he had another one that was an even bigger bag, and it does really look like a bag of chips or some sort of sweets, because it even has the aluminum part that's usually inside the bag as part of the design, like it's shown. And so it for sure looks like maybe a bag of chips that was folded something and no one would know. Definitely no one would touch it, right? Like if I saw a bag of chips on the floor, I would not pick it up and think that there was money inside. There was also a scene in Are You Sure? I think this is the second episode in which Jimin and JK were chatting, and they recalled a travel moment that happened back in 2023, 2024, and it was a rainy bike thing. Jimin called it romantic, and JK kind of reiterated that, kind of said, yeah, romantic. This caused the community to lose their mind because obviously there is this ongoing dating rumor between the two, and for them to use words like romantic or anything like that between each other and about each other is going to cause the community to lose their mind, saying that, look, it's true, they're dating. There is some sort of translation thing with this. First off, romantic in English doesn't always mean something involving a relationship, and can also mean how you view certain things as beautiful or making it beautiful, right? The idea of romanticizing an inanimate object or a time period, that's not making it into a relationship. So that word can be used in the context of poetic or inspiring and mean something more along those lines, which obviously is true. Romantic is a little bit more ambiguous, whereas poetic and inspiring definitely translates properly, in my opinion. Like those words tend to make more sense to apply to the context of what they're saying. But yeah, this was their way of verifying some of the rumors. But aside from that, we have an update on what Suga's been up to, as well as potentially what he might not be a part of in the future. So let's talk about all of that. It seems as if he's been busy doing more philanthropic work, and this is something almost every celebrity gets to at a certain point, when they reach where they have so much excess that they don't need all of that, and they start to want to give back to the community and give towards causes that they care about, because why not? We're put on earth hopefully to help people, and finding your meaning in life comes from when you do stuff like this. And not that he hasn't found his meaning in life, as obviously I think he knows where he's at in his life. I think he knows some of you will look up to him, but when you help a community, now you know exactly why you were put on this planet. Maybe it was to help the community, right? And it's so much more fulfilling than perhaps just spending your money mindlessly or aimlessly. And while he doesn't need a bigger legacy than what he has now, his legacy now is left into his philanthropic work, which will be remembered far past his music. And now, if you're not aware of what happened, he essentially donated about $3.4 million. This is US dollars, and it's about 5 billion Korean dollars to help open an autism clinic or sector in a hospital. And that's obviously huge, right? The clinic or sector is going to stay open and help people far, far past BTS and their music will live. People who go to the clinic that may not even be aware of BTS or were born after BTS can still reap the benefits of what the boys had done, as well as get treatment. This extended far beyond just his donation, as a lot of people within the community who heard about this clinic opening mentioned that they wanted to be part of it as well and wanted to give back as well. So apparently the community raised about 1.5 million yen. This clinic is in Japan, so that makes sense, and this translates to almost 10,000 USD. And of course, I wish when people were donating, it became bigger news or made the news, because then I think they would have raised even more money, and that would have been great. But of course, 10,000 is still a lot of money to donate and receive, and will no doubt make a huge difference. The money raised by the community, as well as the money that Suga gave, is all also going towards the awareness of autism in Japan. While I don't think there's anyone in Japan who isn't aware of what autism is or doesn't know someone who has autism, I think the stigma around autism is still very prevalent, especially within a lot of Asian cultures, and it's the same stigma that we give homeless people, the kind of like don't look at them type of thing. And you know, that's not really fair. I mean, we really shouldn't even be looking at homeless people like that. And even in American language, we say things like he suffers with autism, when being autistic isn't really a form of suffering. Like, I don't think people with autism are physically in pain all the time. So definitely making awareness a priority with the money is going to be a big thing. And of course, as awareness comes in, there's going to be more people who potentially might go to that clinic sector, not necessarily to get maybe even specific treatment, although some people might need it, but just maybe find people that can relate to them, get advice on how to deal with certain things. Like, I think speech therapy might be something that's part of it, maybe subsidized learning. I don't fully know what the clinic offers, but these are really cool things that they could do. People are very concerned over where Suga is recently and if he is going to continue to be missing from BTS activity. Now, while recently there was a dance practice with all the BTS members, or several of them, including Suga there, many have wondered where he's been outside of his philanthropic work and outside of that dance practice, and why he isn't making public appearances on TV and such. This coincides with after the scandal, and so many people presume that he might be blacklisted or not allowed on certain broadcasts. This can all be very possible. It can be very possible that he isn't allowed on specific red carpets or any red carpets because they have broadcast networks and TV pages recording the carpet. So if he's not allowed to be on the TV network, then he obviously can't do the carpet. And if you can't do the carpet, there's probably less of a chance that you would get invited to those high-profile events or parties or premieres. So many wonder if he's going to be missing from future BTS activity, or if there's just going to be a situation in which all the members are all performing in front of a big audience, in front of a big broadcast that Suga's not going to be able to be there for. And since people believe that he's been very quiet recently, many believe that this is confirmation that he will not appear in a lot of the broadcasts or comeback activities. But here's the truth, or at least a theory. Let me break down exactly what we know and what the possibility for any of this is. A final ruling from the Korean standard broadcasting thing has not been given yet. So as of now, no one has said he is formally banned. Now that doesn't stop specific networks from blocking him or blurring him out like they previously did, but just know that there's no reason to do that. Like, there's no legal obligation or ruling that claims that they have to do that. They're simply doing it because they're scared to get controversy. Once the ruling comes out and once they decide whether or not Suga would be allowed on broadcast or not, then we'll be able to know formally. There's a chance that the ruling will say that he is allowed on specific networks and broadcasts will still choose to censor him, and that's their decision. Now, if he has ruled where he is supposed to be banned on broadcast, this causes a lot of problems. This would mean that he would be erased essentially from all BTS promotion activity on TV, specifically Korea. So this might push the group to try to do more Western music and promote in the US, where all 7 of them can be active at the same time, and I hope that they do that. If they decide to continue to promote in Korea like what they have been doing, and seemingly what they like to do, this would mean that Suga would only appear during the tour and essentially probably nothing else. Maybe only the social content or for their own variety show that they do, but I can't imagine anything else outside of that would be allowed. So this then definitely becomes a little bit of a concern. Now, regardless of what happens, there still can be networks that will choose to censor him or block him out even if he's approved to be on TV. But we as a collective can lobby or protest or demand that these broadcast networks choose to keep him on, and that would at least limit the amount of people who feel like it's necessary to censor him. So I'll ask this for you and for anyone that's Korean or can read Korean. Please go to kbs.co.kr. This is the Korean broadcast official website where I believe you can find a forum in which you can request or write things about how you would like Suga on TV. You can also send in a formal request via email, but I have to say all of this is just what I believe you can do because I can't actually read the site and it's all in Korean. I can't read Korean. If we can get this going and if we can get this approved, there's obviously going to be a bigger chance that BTS's comeback is going to be a lot smoother. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you check out Patreon. I'll leave a link at the top of the description. Thank you so much for this lovely comment right here. Thank you so much. Love you. Bye.